If this is your first time here, welcome. This podcast is about my life experiences. I've had some good ones and not so good ones. I hope that you find inspiration and encouragement through my stories. Hi, and welcome to Inspiration from the Conversation. It's here that I hope that you'll find inspiration. My name is Jeff, and this is episode 24, Trinity Parish Camp. Okay, so I was afforded the opportunity to attend Trinity Parish Camp, and this would be maybe between 1972, 74, somewhere right in there. I went 2 consecutive years, but the first year was I just want to say it was kind of a trip in a sense because the first year that I went to this camp, I could have drowned in the pool, but I didn't. And two, I had became interested in this girl, and some things happened, but I just could not close the deal. But I'll get back to those two events. Trinity Parish Camps. It was located in West Cornwall, Connecticut. It cost about maybe $150, and it lasted about 4 weeks, maybe five. I can't. It seemed like it was about 5 weeks, which anybody that grew up during that time can attest that $150 was a lot of money. You could do a lot back then with $150 versus today. You look at it wrong, boy, and that bad boy is gone. But a chartered bus would take us from Manhattan to West Cornwall. Now, I lived in Brooklyn. My parents had to get us to the location where they were going to pick us up in Manhattan. And to be honest with you, I don't really know how I stumbled on it, other than the fact that there were the group of guys that I hung out with had some information, and they were kind of passing it around, and we were trying to figure out if we would be able to go, and it did have the price on the page, and I was like, man, I like to go, but I don't know, you know, if I didn't know if we had that kind of disposable income. But anyway, everybody that was in that group, we were able to go. My mother and my father, made it possible for me to attend this camp, and I really appreciate that. Um, we didn't have a whole lot, but I would never know because it seemed like that my parents um, made things available to me, and I didn't really ask for much. And the few things that I did ask for, they were able to provide those things, and this was one of those things. So we would, so we moved. Excuse me. So we would meet in Manhattan, and we would leave there on a chartered bus, headed to West Cornwall, Connecticut. And West Cornwall, Connecticut was somewhat in the mountains. Wasn't not real hilly, but it kind of was. Not way up on a mountaintop or anything like that, but it was just really nice. It was green, clean, and fresh air. And at night, you could see the stars. The stars were very pretty. The moon was very pretty. Everything was bright. But it would take us about maybe 2 hours to reach the camp from Manhattan. Once we arrived, we were separated into groups of 10, maybe 12 per cabin. And the cabins had maybe one or two lights, no running water. But there was a communal bathroom that was in a central location. It was in walking distance. You had to have a flashlight for the most part because outside the cabin it was pretty dark. So There were no like pole lights or anything like that. The sleeping area was located a good walk away from everything else. And during the day, we would walk down the path to get to the main part of the camp, which had like the dining hall. There were a few buildings, maybe one or two barns, swimming pool, and a few other things in that particular area. And what I really liked about Trinity Parish Camp, um, we did a lot of sitting around the campfire, roasting marshmallows. Yeah, I roasted a few marshmallows. We listened to stories being told um, by the counselors. Most of them, fun or funny, with an occasional scary one. They would kind of, um, kind of, bring the tone down a little bit and start talking, and then the next thing you know, somebody in the back, one of the other counselors, would jump out and scare us. But the camp had a lot of activities, like canoeing, camping, hiking, boxing, karate, judo, archery, which I got pretty good at, watching movies, swimming, and we also had church service, and we would have communion every Sunday, and they served real wine. Um, I don't think my mother ever knew that, and I never did say anything to her about that. But the wine was pretty good too. I know, how would I know, right, at that age? But anyway, but in the middle of the month, they had a parent day, which was on a Saturday. Parents would come up for a visit, and it was, I guess, the camp's way of letting parents know that your child is safe here. But back to the swimming pool. So it was maybe a few days in um, when I got there. And I'm not really sure why. Um, I can't remember if the reason why they wanted some of us at the pool was because, or if it was because, because of the canoeing. If you wanted to canoe, then they wanted you to be able to swim, even though we had life vests to wear while we were in a canoe. And what was really neat about this is that they would put a canoe in the pool, and they would show you how to, if you capsize, uh, meaning that if the canoe turns upside down, they would show you how to get the canoe back right side up and how to get back into the canoe. It was. I hope that you're liking this episode so far. If so, please check out my YouTube channel, Cars, Music, and People with Jeff. The channel is devoted to cars, music, and people within North Carolina. It was pretty neat. But anyway, I think, if I can remember, I think maybe I told them that I knew how to swim, and so I had to kind of get in the water, and that's when they found out I didn't know how to swim. As a matter of fact, one of the counselors, he was also our lifeguard. He had to jump in the water and come to get me. Now, I wasn't in very deep water, but it was probably deep enough for me to drown in if there was nobody there knowing how to rescue a person from water and possibly giving them CPR if they needed to. But what I will tell you is that that incident gave me the opportunity to learn how to swim and learn how to to swim very well, as a matter of fact. So good that I actually became an intermediate swimmer. I could swim. I mean, I can swim now. It's been a few years, um, but I guess if I had to, I could swim. But yeah, it's just really nice. Okay, so 2 weeks in, our camp of boys put on a carnival for the girls. Now, the girls stayed in a different location, um, and I'm gonna say it was probably a good little, nah, it was probably a good little ways away, because they had to be bussed in on a school bus. But anyway, so this carnival had like games such as blackjack, and they didn't know it, but we used decks of cards that were marked, um, checkers, chess, archery, hoops, and a lot of other games. We even took the time to put together a little small play, and that play lasted, if I can remember, about an hour. It was nothing fancy, but I think that they enjoyed it. But it would be here that I had seen this girl, and I want to say her name was Renee. That's what keeps coming back in my mind. And you have to understand, this was many, many years ago. It was over 50 years ago, thereabout. Well, actually a little bit longer. But anyway, um, so so we got to talking and everything, and she gave me her information, so I could write to her. And I don't know what happened. I guess I was just so so thrilled at the fact that she gave me her information, that I wrote to her, and said, hey, basically, I had a good time, and blah blah blah, this and that, and so I sent it, and a couple of days had went by, and I had got a letter from her, and I was thrilled to death. And then I opened it and started reading it, and what she did is, every misspelled word that I had, she corrected my spelling, and boy, I was just hurt. I was hurt, but you know that's just the way life goes sometimes. And I'm really reminded how my father-in-law, he used to tell his grandchildren, my children included, like if they were out in the yard somewhere, playing, and they got a scratch on them, or they got a bang up beside the head, or whatever the case may be. Nobody was abusing anybody, but you know how children can be at the age when they're out in the yard just running around, and it's a bunch of um, other cousins there, and they run into each other and whatever else, or they fall and slip or whatever. But I often remember my father-in-law would tell them that, hey, you're gonna be okay before you get married. And basically, what he was trying to tell them, they didn't understand that at that particular time. But basically, what he was trying to tell them, that over time will things will get better, and this particular moment, um, you won't have to worry about it, because the pain from this particular moment will be just a flash. It'll be gone, and all the pain and the hurt that you receive during these times that you grow up, um, it's gonna be okay. You'll get over it. And so, um, I didn't think about it then, because I didn't really have any concept about, hey, it's going to be all right. You'll get over whatever pain you have. But he was right in the sense that you keep living, you're going to have things that's going to happen in your life. And just know that you can get through it. But you have to get through it. You have to be consistent and continue to go through life. But you also got to understand that things are going to happen in your life. And so I look back on this, I guess many years ago, and to realize that, I did, it hurt. That did hurt. But you live and you learn. And so that's what I did. That's what we all have to do. We have to live and learn. We're not going to get through this life without some ups and downs. I mean, that's just the way that this life is. But, you'll be all right. Just like I was all right. But Trinity Parish Camps was a very nice opportunity for a city boy such as myself to leave the city and get out in the country and get the opportunity to run around and to have fun and to experience all those different activities and to learn how to swim and to be able to communicate with other boys that were my age, and maybe there was probably a few that was a little older than us, not much older. But and then it was nice for the simple fact that some of the people that I grew up with in my neighborhood, we all went. It was just really nice, and so we were able to see each other in a different environment. And but it was really nice. And so I think about this experience from time to time. And when I think about it, I really just think about how Renee rewrote or corrected my spelling. The nerve of her. But it's all right because I survived. And you will too. Well, I'm going to stop it right there. I'll come back when I have more time. Talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Inspiration from the conversation is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please send me a message through fan mail. Thanks for listening.